Okay. All right, it's gonna be a demonstration for the coloring for the logo designs that we're creating. So basically, it's gonna be like the final step of your logo drawing. So I'm actually gonna show you two ways of how to approach the coloring specifically. Obviously you can do like solid colors, or you can incorporate gradients, but also like depending on the style that you chose. So there are like also different methods of like how to do the shading, but basically gonna teach you like one way we can do like kind of like solid colors, almost like kind of like a cartoon, more of like a stylized drawing style. So you're doing your lights and darks values, or you could use like the gradation tool to create some gradual shades in your drawing. You can kind of mix and mesh like the two styles, like like the way I did with the tie and also the way I did with the cup here. I'm gonna show you both methods. So just to show you an example though, I'm gonna do like the one with the light bulb here. So okay, so to do the coloring, you're going to want to create like a whole new layer. So if you look at the layers panel up here, we're going to create a color layer between your drawing and your photo layer. So we can lock the drawing layer, and that way we don't click on it, mess up with it. So to create a new layer though, you just go down here, you click on the plus, not create a whole new layer. So I'm just going to create like a new layer of color. So but technically this is like where the color layer would be, but to create a new layer, you would create the color layer. So I just work on that layer, it's not a big deal, but just have like a drawing layer, color layer, or photo layer. And then if it's layer 1, layer 2, like this might be layer 1, this might be layer 2, just make sure layer 3 is like in between the two. I typically like to label things, but some of you guys may have it just in the layers because I just kind of quickly did it on your computer. Okay, so make sure it's on layer 2, and then you lock your other layers. And on this middle layer here, we're going to just add your colors. So real simple though. So most of you guys are doing like the stylized line approach. We're just going to just add the colors. So for example, I mimic the cap and gown blue. Oh, another thing too, I just want to make sure you get your swatches. So you can double click on here to change your colors. So you want to take the fill off. So assume you guys may have like the fill by default on black right now. So yeah, just make sure it's flipped the other way. So this should be crossed out, and then the other part should be filled. So the one way you can change your colors is you can double click on the square here, and then you can change your colors this way. I'm going to show you another method to change colors, which is a little bit easier, but you click on the color, change it, then you're going to use the pen tool again, and you're just going to retrace that shape again. So since you have like those varied lines, it should be a little bit easier to trace them. Obviously, take your time if it's like thinner lines, but just like what we did in the other program or the practice, you're just going to trace the lines to add the shapes. So I'm going to just try to trace as best as we can, and then use the move tool and see how that looks. So I'm being a little nitpicky on these little like nooks and crannies, so just make sure to take your time with this. So I'm going to use the direct selection tool, the white arrow, and then we can kind of move these points around if needed. So just like what we did with like the other lines, we can kind of fix that. So I see that there's I need to fix this line here. So just remember, you can click on the point and click on the handle, and then you can fix that. So just take your time with it. So that's one way to color. If you want to click on the selection tool and select this, you can change your color. So if I don't like that blue, I can change it to green, blue, however I want it. One thing that's really nice to use though is you go to Windows and swatches. You can actually set like pre-default swatches to use. So if you click on the library down here, and I typically like to use the default swatch and art and illustration. So this will give you all the colors that you typically would need for like any kind of like a graphic design thing. So these are like more preset colors. So this is like the preset blue that you'll see, but you can have like different variations of blue if you click on here, and then you can do like a darker blue, lighter blue, more faded out. This is like more like the vibrant blue. So I would use this though just to do your values. So you're just gonna take your time tracing it. So I did the top of the cap here, I'm gonna do the bottom here. So if you're doing like the stylized line approach, you will have to retrace these shapes again. So I'm gonna trace this here, there. I don't have to trace it exactly, but I could. But actually, yeah, why don't you trace it exactly? This makes things easier. Okay, so I traced this shape. So let me show you guys one thing with the gradient tool. So if you want to like create more of like a three-dimensional look, you can use the gradient tool. So I typically would pick a color gradient, but you can change like the colors too. So I'm gonna use this orange yellow one. Probably using the black and white one is you have to change the colors again. But so I'm gonna use this one here. There's a little bit more options to choose from. So I click on here, I click on that blue again. Oops. Let me see. I'm just see if I can pull the colors from the swatches. I probably have to click on here and then. Okay, so it's not really letting me pick the swatch colors that I wanted. Oh, okay. All right, we go swatch here. Oh. I was wondering if I can click on the colors up here, but okay, so we have to kind of eye drop the colors. Not a big deal. So, I wonder if I can eye drop this part. Oh, okay. Never mind, that's working. So I'm just gonna click on the blue here on the swatches. And maybe I might want to do a lighter blue over here. So you see how kind of creates like that cool looking 3D look. So you can kind of play around with these swatches. You can click add points to it. Maybe I might want to do like a darker blue, just to give it more like that three-dimensional look. So if you take your time with the gradients, so you can get some really nice details, just kind of playing around with the direction. So maybe I just change to like a dark blue. Alright, there we go. So that's pretty much the swatches. I guess if that got a nice 3D look, that's what you're going for. You probably want to do like the same thing for up here too, but maybe change the direction of the gradient. So if you click on edit gradient, you can change the direction. So if you guys remember, we did this with the practice before. So I'm just gonna change this angle here. So move it around. So that'll give it more of like that stylized look if that's like what you're trying to go for. I'm gonna try to not make this blue so strong, but kind of make it go out a little bit further. So it doesn't look like that top of the cap. So that's one approach you can do with like the coloring and the shading. And so that's the approach you would do with you're doing the the stylized method. Now, if you did redraw your shapes again, I'm gonna go back and undo the pencils that I did here. You can go back to your draw layer and some of these shapes that you guys created on here. So this is if you did like the graphic logo style. You could actually just click on the shape and then apply the gradient. So one nice thing about redrawing those shapes though is the coloring is much easier to manipulate. So we'll do like the same thing, edit gradient, rotate it this way, move it down. I'm trying to match it with the angle of the cap here. This makes it so much easier if you just have it already set up for you, because you can just literally click on it and then it's like, oh, okay, I have it there. So, and then if you have issues where oops, actually no, it should be fine. So that makes it a little bit easier if you have it set up on there. So you can actually color directly on the shapes itself. And then who knows, you might actually like it without the lines. So this is actually a option with your non-gradient methods. You can kind of make it look more like an actual graphic logo if you want to get rid of the outline. So I just clicked on this. So this is like originally with the outlines. We can click on the none to get rid of it. Okay, so that's using the gradients. Now if you want to just kind of color it like normally, you want to go for like this. This might be more for like a good stylized method, but I'm just gonna go lock this layer again, go back on my draw layer. Okay, I'm going to change this fill to gray. Yeah, we're changing to gray color. So I'm just going to trace this entire shape here. So you can do it in individual shapes. This one I'm just going to do it the whole way, except for like that round part. Actually, not. You know what? I'm going to do it for the whole way. So the other method's pretty simple though. You're just going to just add some different gradation tones with like the way you're shading. So you know, I kind of went with like a darker gray. I might actually go like a mid-tone gray here. So just remember you can change your colors. And then Command-Shift-A. Now we're just going to draw another gray on top. So this is like if you want to just kind of draw the gray shapes, you can do that. So I kind of recommend this for more of the stylized method, and this way is obviously a little bit quicker, but you know, it really depends on like what you want to do with like the drawing and stuff. So you can't really see what I'm doing, but you know, if I darken it though, you see like the gray values that I made. So I'll give you more like a stylized cartoon look for the drawing if this is kind of what you're going for. And then if you're doing it on this one you have to kind of manually draw. It's not really any shortcuts to it, so you know, you do like the same thing. Oops, I'm not on the right tool. You can just manually draw it in here. It's something you want to do. Of course, none of my shapes are showing up because this is the other method. I actually have all these shapes as outlines, or I had to make it into an outline. Right, I'm not gonna worry about that though. Yeah, they're all separate shapes, so this one I would actually go the other route, but okay. All right, let me show you guys one last thing. So you see like I have like this round shape here. And you know, I can just kind of trace this shape over here. So I'm gonna make this nice orange. So we didn't really talk too much about colors, but you know, you definitely want to like, you know, think about your color choices too. And I won't be really nitpicking on colors, but you know, like usually complementary colors are really nice. So, you know, usually blue is complementary to orange. Whoops, let me flip this other way, take the fill out. So yeah, like this nice orange sphere. So I was thinking like, oh, maybe I could use like the, I could use this gradient here. So just make sure like this is on top in the front, because that's going to affect that certain gradient. So you know, we can add a gradient here. We can maybe add like a sphere in the middle. So you know, we just have to manipulate the sphere. There we go. So actually I have to get rid of some of the gradients. So if you want to edit, adjust the gradients, you know, you can move this around. A little bit wider. Let's see. Yeah, my only thing with the gradient tool is this is really like hard to manipulate. I want to try to move it around. What if this is not really giving me too many options. Yeah, they kind of fiddle with this though, but I'm gonna try to make it into like, you put like a red there. Maybe not that red. Okay, maybe we'll go with that. So you can't really see the red though, but we can go a little hint of red at the end. Make it a little bit brighter. Too bright. So you have to kind of manipulate that, but you know, you can get like a little nice gradient look to it. And then Actually, why don't we I'm gonna actually add the other parts on here. Yeah, let's just trace it all the way down. So I deleted an anchor point, and then I'm just gonna draw the rest of it down here. So it's gonna change my, it's gonna change the shape a little bit, but that's okay. I have to just manipulate the gradient again. So edit gradient, try to move this upward, maybe. Yeah, move it up here. Actually, it'd be like way up here. Yeah, like up here. Although graphically, I want to put it like right here in the middle. So you have to kind of play around with it, but you know, that'll create like a nice little graphic look if that's what you're going for. All right. Okay, but those are pretty much like the coloring shading methods in the program.